President Bongbong Marcos spent the day in Maguindanao in the aftermath of the flash floods and landslides that affected the province. And after Paeng's onslaught over the weekend, people have started flocking to cemeteries for this year's undas. And some good news, at least in terms of the weather. Tropical Depression Queenie is now a low-pressure area and could dissipate in a matter of hours. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The investigation into the murder of broadcaster Percy Lapid is now in its final phase. Let's discuss this some more with Justice Secretary Boying Remulla, who's joining us now over the phone. Secretary, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Has the Department of Justice identified the mastermind or masterminds in the Lapid slay case, and can we expect the filing of charges this week?
Good evening, Sean. I was in conference with the NBI a while ago with some of the members, and we are preparing to finalize the report already. And hopefully by Friday we can release the findings so that we find the proper case.
All right, so by Friday, we can expect some sort of charges will be filed against the people involved. Secretary, if you are at liberty, can you share with us the details on the charges or specific charges that will be filed, and against whom will these be, or will this be against the inmates or Bucor officials?
I would rather not, Sean. I feel that we just have to respect the process. We have to finalize the papers. We have to tighten up the theories. And we don't want any premature releases in this regard. I think we will finish this by Friday. And it's a self-imposed deadline that I've given to myself because of the urgency of this matter.
All right, fair enough, Secretary. We will wait until then. Moving on now to another slightly related topic, of course. Have you finally managed to track down the suspects at large that were identified or named by Joel Escorial? I believe, Secretary, the last update was that you found their hideout or where they were hiding out?
Well, it's the PNP on their tracks right now. We are concentrating on the case right now where the case builds up. But I think that you should be asking General Estomo about this matter.
All right. Just want to clarify also, Secretary, this report by Politico, of course, the online news website, they do claim that Bureau of Corrections executives close to suspended Chief Gerald Bantag gave the order to kill or to snuff out or to snuff June Villamor. How true is this rumor, or is this still something that you're currently looking into?
I cannot validate anything right now. I'm sorry. We're finalizing our report, and that's the most I can say right now.
All right, but will the DOJ be filing additional charges against Bucor officials over lapses in the bilibid?
Definitely the lapses are there. They have been established. It's one of the angles that we have covered in this investigation.
All right, and which lapses are we talking about here specifically? The latest that you mentioned was, of course, they found traces of methamphetamine or shabu in June Villamor's blood after his autopsy. So you mentioned that in a press con. Will you be addressing that as well?
It was found in his urine.
Okay, so will you be addressing that? That kind of lapse? It has been an ongoing...
It definitely is a very significant finding, and there will be something addressed to that matter.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us this evening. DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla over the phone. And millions of Filipinos trooped to cemeteries nationwide for the first time since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Over 225,000 people visited the Manila North Cemetery as of 5 p.m. today. The queue at the entrance of the biggest memorial park in Manila remained long throughout the day. Visitors were allowed to enter the cemetery until 5:30 p.m. Despite the earlier announcement that gates will close at 4:30 p.m. The Manila South Cemetery logged over 200,000 visitors today as it closed at exactly 5 o'clock. Children aged 12 and below who were barred entry to the cemetery were told to wait in a holding area. Tight security checks were implemented at the entrance, with separate lanes for men, women, children, PWDs, and senior citizens. Cemeteries in Caloocan doubled as vaccination sites in an effort to ramp up COVID-19 vaccine coverage. 800 Pfizer shots were made available to visitors of La Loma Cemetery, Bagbagin, Tala, Serenity Memorial Gardens, and Forest Park Cemetery. Sangandaan Cemetery and Eternal Gardens in South Caloocan also had their own vaccination sites. But some cemeteries in Bulacan remain flooded in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Paeng. Despite this, visitors braved the floods to visit their dearly departed. The Legacy Memorial Park initially decided to close the cemetery for safety reasons, but due to the influx of people, management decided to reopen the gates at 2 p.m. today. One News Now will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. President Bongbong Marcos visited the province of Maguindanao, one of the areas hardest hit by severe tropical storm Paeng. Mon Gualvez with the report.
President Marcos conducted an aerial inspection in Maguindanao del Norte and Maguindanao del Sur. More than half of over 100 reported deaths were recorded here. During the inspection, the President noticed the lack of trees in the mountains.
Nung nasa helicopter kami ni Bay Mariam, na-notice ko lahat ng gumuho, kalbo ang bundok. That's the problem. Lahat ng gumuho. And I was pointing out to the governor, sabi ko sa kanya, tignan mo yung may kahoy, hindi gumalaw yung lupa.
But Maguindanao del Sur Governor Bay Mariam Maguindanao said trees are not common in that particular area.
So yun ang aalamin pa natin kung totoo ba talaga yun o pamahiin lamang o kung ano ba ang dahilan bakit walang nakatubo doon samantala yung mga karatig na mga bundok may mga nakatayong mga puno.
With this, Marcos says tree planting should be a regular activity in flood control projects by the government.
I know people think that it is just for to save the environment. No, it's to save lives. It's to save lives. So it really will save lives. Kung may kahoy yun sa taas, sa kusong, hindi nangyari yan.
In his visit, the President also led the distribution of relief goods in an evacuation center in Datuo din Sinsuat in Maguindanao del Norte. Sitio Tinabon in Barangay Kusyong in Datuo din Sinsuat was among the areas damaged by landslides brought by Paeng.
In-instructionan ko na si Secretary Erwin Tulfo, in-instructionan ko na siya na imbis na tayo ang magbigay ng construction materials ay bibigyan na lang namin kayo ng depende 5 to 10,000 bawat isa para makapagbili ng construction materials.
President Marcos also tasked local governments to get rid of red tape in the distribution of relief goods during calamities. He noted an instance back in 2013 during the onslaught of Super Typhoon Yolanda wherein one barangay supposedly gave tickets to typhoon victims to keep track of relief distribution and avoid duplication.
Ano kung magdoble? Bigay nyo na rin lahat. Just give everything. Hindi iyayaman ba yung tao na meron nakadoble sa na food pack? Hindi yayaman. It just means he will eat, the family will eat for another 2 days, 3 days. So, wag na natin masyadong intindihin yung bureaucracy. Basta paratingin natin yung relief.
For its part, the Datuo din Sinsuat LGU assures that a relocation area for affected residents has been prepared. The LGU also hopes to resume face-to-face classes by Thursday. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Let's check in on the weather. Tropical Depression Queenie has weakened into a low-pressure area. This LPA was last located some 420 kilometers east of Hinatuan in Surigao del Sur. This LPA can still bring light to moderate rains over Caraga and Davao Oriental. The low-pressure area will also continue moving northwestward and is seen to dissipate in the next 12 hours. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.